Hi, my name is Jackie Pucci. Welcome to AgriBusiness Global Report, where we bring you interviews with executives and experts working in the agrochemical, biological, and plant health industries. Today, I'm talking with Tarang Srivistava, Head of International Business at Certis Biologicals, which is a subsidiary of Mitsui and Company based in Columbia, Maryland. Tarang has 26 years experience in global crop protection and farm equipment industries with DuPont, Dow AgroSciences, UPL, and Mahindra. In his career, Tarang has led several startups to scale up business operations in over 50 countries and has served assignments in India, Japan, and now in the US. Tarang, thank you for joining me. Really appreciate it.
A pleasure, Jackie. Thank you for having me.
Thanks. So can you just give an overview of Certis's international business and what your expansion plans look like?
Absolutely. So Certis Biologicals operates in pretty much all continents, in all the major markets around the world that are important for the biologicals industry, especially European Union, markets like Japan, Brazil, Australia, New Zealand, and all the major markets that you can think of. It's 50 plus countries and growing pretty much every month.
Do you have a particular area of focus looking forward in a certain market?
Well, for us, the protected cultivation, the greenhouse markets, the export-oriented fresh produce markets are really the big ones. So you can
in
say,
any certain regions?
As a region, European Union is always the number one, the most favorable, friendly to biologicals adoption, and of course the export-oriented countries like Chile, Peru, Mexico, New Zealand, Thailand, Malaysia. All those markets are very important to us. Morocco.
Okay, great. Earlier in 22, Mitsui created a new biologicals company in Europe, Certis Belchim, through a merger of Certis's European business with Belchim Crop Protection, and has been developing programs using traditional chemicals alongside biorationals. Is this the same strategy Certis Biologicals is using in the US?
Well, small correction. The joint entity created by Mitsui in European Union with the merger of Certis Europe and Belchim is not really a pure play biological company. It is a merger of two agrochemical companies, but both of them have a very responsible and robust biological portfolio, much of which is supported by us. The difference between the European entity of Mitsui and Certis Biologicals is that Certis Biologicals, as the name suggests, is a 100% biological focused company. We were formerly known as Certis USA, and the change of name was basically to emphasize that we purely play in the biological space, as well as we are no longer just a US-based company. We are a very global biological company. And while we focus pretty much on microbial biopesticides, but we do have a small portfolio of biochemicals, products like Coside, which come from our other group company called Cosaco. And those are products that are highly complementary to our biological portfolio. But we do remain a very microbial and biological centric company.
Okay, great. Can you talk about Certis Biologicals' approach to the row crop market? Like how has this adoption evolved in the US and where you see it heading in the next several years?
I think row crops has become an increasingly important market segment for biologicals. And the adoption, especially in the US market, has been very robust, consistently growing in both corn and soybean. Our approach has been basically to work around educating our row crop growers and channel partners, working with seed treatment technologies and also with the crop protection. We do have several partnerships arrangements in play, and there'll be a lot more to come as we grow this business. But for us, not just US, our markets in Europe, Brazil, some parts of Middle East Africa and Asia Pacific are also growing in terms of row crops.
Can you talk about some of the partnerships you have?
I think it's slightly premature, so I would
Okay.
leave that for now. Let's connect again as we are ready to speak about those partnerships.
So within the biological space, what are your areas of emphasis and where do you see the most opportunity heading into 2023? I know biostimulants have been a huge area of focus for so many companies.
Yeah, I think biostimulants has been an interesting area for the industry as such. We at Certis Biologicals really focus on the microbial side of technologies, and for us, we are looking very closely at microbial-based biostimulants. A lot of interesting work is ongoing with several collaborative partnerships, not just internally with the various universities, but with also industry players. We are, of the opinion that just as conventional pesticides and biologicals are very important for the industry, we will soon see biofertilizers becoming very important. We will see, yield boosting technologies, seed treatment packages, products to improve soil health becoming important, and we are looking at those areas very, very closely. With our strengths in fermentation technology and our capacity to do large-scale fermentation, I think we are in a very good position to cater to that growth segment.
How do you set yourselves apart?
Well, first of all, we are one of the oldest classical biological companies. Not many companies can claim a long history, whereas we go way back, decades back, and some of our brands are really pioneers in the biological industry. In the BTs like Delphin, Turicide, Javelin, those are very well-established, well-known brands. You will see them in textbooks, and our decades-old experience puts us in a very reliable position within the industry. Many of our partners, which ranges from large multinationals to regional players to country-level large players, rely heavily on our expertise in fermentation and our ability to handhold our partners, in terms of understanding how a product or technology will perform against a certain pest or disease. And I think that decades of experience is what really sets us apart. And we believe that with our robust formulation technology, we are able to deliver consistent potency, consistent shelf life, even in various hot and humid tropical conditions. And that makes us a very reliable partner.
How has that understanding grown that you've mentioned? Do you think it's like more just experience with the product itself and using it over time? And just what role does education play? How do you factor that into your approach?
Well, education, I think, for our industry is a very important element, because there are still a lot of growers, a lot of channel partners, and even industry colleagues who are really sitting on the fence. They're still watching, they're still trying to understand the reality. And the reality is that biologicals have become a main stream segment in the crop protection industry. We focus a lot on educating our channel partners, our customers, through a very large team of field development. In fact, in the past year or so, we have almost doubled the number of people we have in field development. We have very strong partnerships with various universities trying to develop information which is relevant and practical from a local understanding standpoint, and we consistently share with our partners, growers, and channel partners both. We do a lot of seminars, we do a lot of educational sessions with our channel partners on teaching them how to incorporate biologicals in their conventional crop protection programs, and how to work alongside conventional crop protection by incorporating biologicals in just the right places in their spray schedules.
Okay, is the know-how in biologicals in the educational level, is it the strongest in the European Union than where the
I do
adoption
believe
is?
you're kind of right. European Union has taken biologicals much more seriously for a very long time. They are highly committed to reducing chemical pesticides by 50% by 2030. So that makes it a huge commitment. And it comes, I think, largely within the society. You can see it. And now we see that happening in the adjacent markets, countries that were serving the European Union from a fresh produce export standpoint, like Morocco, Turkey, even various Asian and Latin American markets. We see that growing very rapidly in our home market in the US. So overall, yes, the trend is very clear. It's very strong, and we do see microbial technologies becoming mainstream, reliable technologies for all growers around the world.